All right, good morning, traders. Today is September 12th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Hey, thank you, everybody in podcast land, digital land, cyber land, as well as my paying subscribers. Thank you so much for following my content, subscribing to my content, sharing my content, liking my content, following my content, all of that. Appreciate all of that. All right, I don't take it for granted. I try to provide actionable, profitable content every single day. Thank you so much for special shout out to John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy Sarah Roasted for sharing my content. Thank you for following me on my trading journey. All right, let's go ahead and look at what happened yesterday. Before I get started, I want to make an announcement. Doug Campbell, Right Way Options, is going to have an open house on Monday. That's September 15th. It says 9:25 to 4. He does create a morning video. You might want to get there at 9 so you can watch his morning video and be prepared by the time he opens up around 9:25. Okay, so just saying. Now, the link is going to be in the description. If you cannot wait for the link, just use the QR code right here in the white box. Take your smartphone, scan that with your camera, and a little pop-up should show up with a web page. If you press the pop-up, that will open up a web page in your phone browser, and that will provide the registration link. Now, we will be emailing you the credentials to get into the room, probably Sunday night, or Monday morning, or immediately. I'm not sure when they email the credentials to get into the room, but anyways, just watch your email, check your spam, all right, for those credentials so you can get into the room on Monday. That's September 15th, 2025. Hey, good morning, Julie. Good morning, KJ. All right, let's go take a look at the market, okay? Again, thank you everybody for being here. Good morning, Julie and KJ. SPY pivot this morning, 650, 620. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY, QQQ, and Diamond Dow all made new all-time highs. Okay, amazing. IWM made a new rally high. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and 10-minute bullish consolidation. FNGU made a lower low and a lower high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Now FNGU I think they made a new all-time high, not yesterday, but the day before. Gold made an inside day, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Silver made a new 13-year high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO in a daily downtrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. UNG, natural gas, made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish cross underneath the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a downtrend, closed near the 97.53 area. It's in that bear flag underneath minor resistance. SPY Max Pain for today, that's SPY options, is 655 with a put to call ratio of about 2.6 puts for each call that expires today. Now, if you're looking for something other than a trade, mainly all I trade is SPY and QQQ. If you're looking for something to swing trade, all of these are in bullish uptrends over the 17 EMA. All of these are in bearish downtrends under the 17 EMA. If you see a star next to it, like right here, TLS had a star yesterday. If you pull up the daily chart, you'll see that it has a breakout candle yesterday, so the star was removed. Okay, so now we got an asterisk on GTX, means it's building out a launch pad from which to launch higher. Bears over here. All right, if you see a star next to these, they're building out a platform or a floor from which to dip lower. All right, if you see this, so these have bear flags. these are making bull flags, okay? Got a star over here, it's a bull flag. Over here, it's a bear flag, all right? So these are in downtrends under the 17. These are in uptrends over the 17. All right, so let's take a look at the market today. All right, SPY. Okay, so we left off, yeah, kind of. I'm going to call it consolidation. That's not really a 10-minute uptrend. I'm going to call that just bullish consolidation. Look at it move up, plank up there at the all-time highs. 658. We've never been up this high before, okay? So they're planking up there. That's a show of strength. That's like holding a chin up for 4 hours straight, okay? That's a show of strength up there, holding those highs, especially over VWAP right there, okay? On the 2-hour chart, okay? Still have a 2-hour uptrend. And what's my favorite trade? 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. Inside the 2-hour uptrend that resides inside the daily uptrend, residing inside the weekly uptrend, residing inside the monthly uptrend, okay? So let's go take a look. There's a 2-hour. There's a daily. Definitely got an uptrend there on the daily. Weekly, in an uptrend. Monthly, in an uptrend. See all the green dots? See price making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so that's my favorite trade. So this is what we had yesterday, is my favorite trade. So we traded this yesterday on the 10-minute. You can see we had a weak 1-candle 10-minute uptrend the day before. And we had a continuation. If you were with me yesterday morning, I said I'm looking for a continuation pattern based on the pre-market, post-market activity of price continuing that 10-minute uptrend all the way up here over VWAP. Now, I said yesterday I'm going to pick off the bottoms of these candles. Okay, that was my opening statement that I said I am going to try to pick off the bottoms for the continuation pattern for the 10-minute uptrend to go up there. So yesterday I made 3K just picking off the bottoms and trading to the upside. Not to mention, we had the bullish MMRP manifested yesterday in SPY. Let me see if I can dig that out, because that's kind of an interesting diagram right there. Maybe I can dig that out. Let's see if I can find it. I'd really love to share that. Here it is. And, okay, let's see if we can populate it. All right, so you can see this is the bullish MMRP pattern from yesterday. The shaded section is the pre-market. Okay, we have a sharp red candle down with no follow-through. Okay, if they don't have follow-through on the next candle or the candle after that, look out, we're probably coming all the way back up to test the highs. Okay, so we have a sharp reversal here. You can see it in the form of, these are 5-minute candles, 5-minute candles right here, okay? 5-minute candles doing the reversal, okay? Here is the resistance. You can see it on the red line. Price comes up to it and keeps bouncing away. All right, we have a breakdown and then a sharp reversal. Price comes up and then consolidates after reversing what just happened on top of what was once resistance now becomes support, okay? Consolidates, and then we have 3 price advancement moves. I think actually we had 4, but you can see in groups of 5, okay? So here's 5 candles represent the igniting move up. Okay, 5 candles represent the consolidation pause, all right? They're stunned. They don't know what just happened. They're just amazed at what just happened. Big red candle down, got chewed up by these 5 green candles. Now, if you look closely at the green candles, okay, it might not be one big igniting green candle, but you can almost slide the bodies of those candles on top of each other, making one big green candle. So there you have a bullish engulfing move right there as price rips back up over the body of that red candle down with no follow through. Then we consolidate for 5 candles. We get the first price advancement move, all right, which makes a higher high. The second price advancement move will make a higher low and a higher high. The third will make a higher low and a higher high. Notice they're in groups of 5. All right, this is the bullish MMRP here. Okay, it is the 5 candle, 5 minutes. So that's 5 5-minute candles. So we start grouping them off the 5-minute chart, the candles in groups of 5, starting with the igniting move back up to the upside. So here's the igniting move, the pause, price advancement 1, price advancement 2, price advancement 3, and I think there was a price advancement 4 over here, okay? I only count on 3, all right? But we had 4, and we actually hit a target. See this uptrend line in the channel? We hit that, so for me, that was a win. That was a take profit area right there, right around 557, 558 area. So that is the bullish MMRP manifested in the pre-market. Okay, you can see in the shaded section long before 9 o'clock, 9:30, and you can see it playing out and trading right through there. So there's the bullish MMRP that we traded, all right, and just knowing this pattern gave me the courage to go big and buy the dips, all right, pick off the lows of all the candles down here, okay, just seeing this pattern manifest. And now all I'm looking for in order for this to work out is for price to start melting up. So I start picking off the lows of the candles, and then we get the breakout to the upside, okay? So there's SPY. So that's what I traded yesterday live in front of members, and like I said, Alan got 19 daily goals yesterday. A lot of other guys got a lot of daily goals as well, okay? So if you're wondering what a daily goal is, that's 1% of your whole trading account, okay? So can you imagine moving your whole trading account up 19%? Okay, that's huge, all right? Some people stay in Ford stock, all right, for 12 years trying to get 20%, all right? Capturing dividends, all right? Ridiculous, okay? We got guys in the room that have learned how to do this in 30 minutes as opposed to 20 years or 12 years, okay? This is how it's done right here through the vehicle called options. We use options to leverage our money, and we find patterns that are repeatable just like this, and we capture the gains produced from those options, all right? So there's SPY, all right? I'm going to remove this. This is the bullish MMRP. You can take a picture of it, pause the video, snap a photo of it, igniting, pause, price advancement 1, price advancement 2, price advancement 3. All right, so let's get that out of the way. So that was a nice trade yesterday. And then we went straight into consolidation up here over to the right, okay? So let's look at the pre-market and see what they have in store for us in the pre-market. More bullish consolidation, a little bit underneath yesterday's consolidation. So if we're above VWAP, I'm going to stay bullish. But I got to say, if we're under VWAP or get underneath this pivot, I think we probably roll over and come check out this uptrend line. Now, they may be waiting for this uptrend line to get a little higher in order to come check it out. Okay, so all in all, this is bullish, hanging out in the upper third. All right, if you don't know this. Okay, let's take the low and the high. As long as we remain in the upper third of price action in the quad lines, my stance is bullish. I'm going to remain bullish. We may even come back, spike the 50 right here, the midpoint, which is about 554, 654.50, and then hopefully bounce back up off of it. But as long as we're in the upper third, I'm going to remain bullish on this SPY. That's incredible consolidation. 4 hours right there, 5 hours almost, okay? And then all through the night and all through the morning, okay? This is really winding up. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I think it's going to go quite far. We'll see what happens. But there's SPY on the 5-minute chart, okay? I'm going to take this out of the way here, the quad lines, because they get too much on the screen here. I'm going to take this and back that off, okay? So get a clearer picture of what's going on. So there's SPY. So I'm looking for actually a bullish breakout. So all in all, my plan this morning is probably going to be sit on my hands and wait for the breakout. I will probably try to pick off a few lows right here at the pivot, okay, underneath the pivot. Looking for some spikes of that pivot area. Anything around here along the pivot line, I think I'm going to try to pick off the lows of those right there. Because this is bullish. That's like a 24-hour plank, all right? That's impossible, all right? So I will probably be looking to pick off the lows here. We'll see what happens, all right? We tried to break out yesterday, and it failed right there at the end of the day. And then all in all, we did not break down, or we did, and we failed to break down here. So I guess we're back up to test the breakout area up here again. Haven't seen the test yet. Maybe it happened overnight, but we'll see what happens here. So here's the failed breakout to the upside. Here's a failed breakdown to the downside. So now we're right back up here where we closed yesterday. So again, nice plank up there, holding that higher ground. I'm going to remain bullish right here on SPY. Okay, as long as I'm over that pivot. All right, so there's SPY. Let's take a look at the game plan for SPY pivot for SPY. Going to back out here. We're going to flip to a different chart and pull up the game plan. All right, so we can see right here, this is a 10-minute chart of the SPY. The pivot is 656.20. Okay, above it I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. Green erases red entry over 658.25. Again, that would be the consolidation breakout up there. All right, and red erases green, okay, underneath 653.70. If they get below that, look for the gap fill and then the breakup candle low way down here. All right, so red erases green underneath 653.70. Green erases red up here 658.25. Pivot 656.20. I'm going to take the morning market session and I'm going to box off the high and the low with one of these right here. Okay, so I'm going to box off this and the highs. I'm actually going to do the overnight highs right here. Okay, so a breakout of this area, these light lime green areas right here. Breakout of either one will probably be the direction I trade down here. We're very bullish, not real fond of playing counter trend. Again, I said I'd probably try to pick off the lows if it gets down here. Okay, but getting too far below this, start breaking rubber band candles, all right, on the 10-minute chart, and I'm going to have to be bearish, all right, coming back down here to test these lows of the day from yesterday, okay, breaking a rubber band candle down here. But if they remain rubber band candles, I'm going to try to pick off the bottoms of those rubber band candles. All right, so there's SPY on the 5-minute. There's the plan, as well as I will box off the first 15 minutes of price action and hopefully trade the breakout from that. All in all, I'm not real fond of doing the breakout the first 15 minutes, only simply because of the intense consolidation that we have, bullish consolidation up here. I'd be more inclined to trade the breakout to the upside, but not to the downside. Again, I'm going to try to pick off the bottoms, the lows of those candles because we're so bullish up here. All right, I'd be looking for some breakout to the upside. We'll see what happens. Again, they failed breakout here, they failed breakdown there. All right, so here we are again, chomping around in the middle. So here's the thing, here's the takeaway. Don't get chopped up in your account. Okay, maybe it might be better just to wait for a breakout of this one right here or that green line right there. All right, I'm just going to say it's probably going to be wiser to wait for that breakout up there, up over 658.25, or a breakdown underneath 656.30. Okay, simply because, all right, that's some intense consolidation right there. Again, 4 hours of yesterday's open market, all of post-market from yesterday, all of pre-market from for today. All right, so there's SPY. All right, let's drill down to QQQ. QQQ got a game plan as well. Let's dive into that. And let's pull it up on the 15 and spread this out. I want this chart right here. All right, and I want to move this over here. Okay, kind of want to zoom in. All right, so here's our QQQ game plan. Again, the pivot 583.40 that got moved. Okay, 583.40 above it. I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. Same thing happening here. All right, on the QQQ. Got intense consolidation all night, all morning, and then 4 hours of the open market yesterday, consolidating at the all-time highs. Okay, we got a green erases red entry over here at 584.80. All right, and then we have a red erases green at 581.75. This is the QQQ game plan. Now on both QQQ and SPY, I like 7 days till expiration and 14 days till expiration Friday options. Okay, on the multiple of 5, so 580, 680, 590, 690, okay, 670. On the multiple of 5, QQQ and SPY, okay, with strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Okay, that's what I like. All right, now you can trade at the money. You'll get higher performance than I will. All right, you'll get much higher performance than I will because I'm going to be trading out of the money. But I'm willing to give up some of that performance to take on a little bit less risk. If you take in the money, you'll be taking on more risk. All right, but you'll be rewarded handsomely as long as you got the direction right. All right, so but that's not for me. All right, I like taking on a little less risk. All right, for me that's better for me. Take on less risk and sacrifice some performance. Now, both QQQ and SPY, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, and I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. I like the 10-minute uptrends when they're moving up, and away from VWAP. In other words, there's some separation building. And I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP when they're moving down, and away from VWAP. Again, look for the separation building, all right? So there's QQQ and SPY. These are our game plans. They are shared on social media. All right, let's take a look at some of the other products in the market. I will hit the daily chart here for QQQ so you can see that. New all-time high for QQQ yesterday. Okay, it's bullish. Okay, and it's in an uptrend. All right, that's QQQ. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU daily chart. Remember, all-time high, not yesterday, but the previous day. Okay, new all-time high for FNGU. Yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Again, up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend, FNGU. Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow put in. That's a new all-time high for Diamond Dow. Okay, just drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. All right, new all-time high. That's bullish and in an uptrend. IWM. IWM, that is a new rally high for IWM since April. Okay, put the crosshairs up there. You can see everything over to the left. There's nothing higher than the high that we made yesterday in IWM. So new rally high right there. So that's bullish and in an uptrend. All right, we did SPY, we did QQQ, did Diamond Dow, we did IWM, we did FNGU. Let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver. All right, here's silver yesterday. Look at that. Up there at the top, that is a new 13-year high for silver. Okay, nice little build out of a launch pad right there. Maybe get some, oh, look at this. We're getting some follow through from the launch pad right here this morning. Silver in an uptrend, okay, at 13-year highs, okay, bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at gold. Gold, inside day, lower high, higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Back out. You can see gold at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend right there. Gold and silver. Let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO got a habit of moving up and giving it up. Notice they cannot hold the higher ground. Okay? They can't even hold the lower ground. All right? So they can't hold the higher ground, can't hold the lower ground. So they're neutral. See how they go down and give it up? See how they go up and give it up. All right? So they're neutral and currently in a downtrend. Here's a low under the 17. They made a lower low, so that puts them in a downtrend right there. They're just neutral. They're not ready yet. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. UNG in a downtrend, okay, making lower lows. See, we got 4 lows here. There's a lower low. There's an even lower low, even lower low, even lower low. You get the deal. And there's an all-time low right there. All right, so we have not made any higher highs, so we remain in the downtrend until they can make a higher high. Currently, they were in a downtrend but moving up, so creating a bear flag right here. So there's UNG down here at the bottom of quadrant 1. So that's bearish and in a downtrend. Yesterday's candle, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish cross under the 17 EMA right there. There's UNG. All right, let's take a look at some technicals. We keep losing more and more breath day by day. This is the breath. This is the 15-minute market breath making another lower low right here on market breath. Losing more and more participation each day. Okay, so things, when this happens, things could get wild and whippy. All right, so be careful out there, traders. Okay, things can get very wild and whippy with less participation. You're going to have people having to be able to move price freely, okay, up or down, okay. So could get wild and whippy while we're down here at this low market breath. T2122, we spent the day up here in the overbought zone, okay. So price action airborne over the buy zone, all the way over the chop zone, and we landed inside the overbought zone and spent the whole day up there in the overbought zone. Okay, you can see multiple markets hitting new all-time highs. It's probably to be expected to hit the overbought zone with multiple markets making new all-time highs. Okay, T2123. Expect more bullish action based on the overbought zone from yesterday. So we got some bullish action. Here's the 15-minute chart, T21.23. Again, price up over this 200 SMA. That's bullish. There's a new all-time high for T21.23. Love it. All right, this is bullish and in an uptrend. 3-bar chart. Okay, new all-time high for T21.23. Bullish and in an uptrend. Notice up over the 200 SMA. Let's take a look at FNGU. Price action for yesterday. Again, bullish consolidation over prior consolidation. That is a bullish outlook. That is a bullish stance. All right, so I'll get the squares out if this thing ever comes in. And let's try that one. Okay, we got consolidation right here. Okay, see that? See how all of the price action is contained within the box right here. Okay, then we got consolidation over prior consolidation. One more time. Okay, so there's consolidation over prior consolidation. Again, this is a bullish outlook. This is a bullish stance. This is, again, moving up and holding that higher ground. Okay, that's like performing a 48-hour chin up or a 48-hour plank, all right? That's a show of strength up there. Okay, so there's price action for FNGU. Yesterday, you can see mostly all sideways. Big gap up, but all in all, just more consolidation over the prior 2 days of consolidation, okay? So this will be the last day to end the week. Again, up over the 200 SMA right here. Something just happened on Thunderbird. Okay, so Thunderbird just sent me an alert. All right, so there's FNGU. All right, that's it right there. Let's take a look at the economic package, and then we will see you guys in about 40 minutes and open up the markets. Okay, so consumer sentiment came out. Let's see what happened there. All right, let's just take a peek at what happened with consumer sentiment. And let's take a peek at SPY. And not really anything going on. More of the same. Nothing breaking out yet. All right. That happened at 8:30, I think. Consumer sentiment. I think. I'm not positive. We'll find out here in a second. All right. So this is the economic data. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar. All right. This would be right here. This would be okay. This would be major support. See the valleys right here, right there, all these valleys. Okay, this is major support. Okay, right there. Okay, so see we broke through major support. Okay, so we came all the way down. Okay, went back up to test it, and we were rejected. So we broke through major support. This now becomes minor resistance. And now we are in a bear flag, okay, underneath minor resistance. All right, so this is a bear flag. So we're in a downtrend underneath there. We made a low of 97.50 something. Yesterday, I think 97.53. Let me pan in and actually and zoom in on it so we can see. You can see this big bear flag, a move down and over to the right. So it would be the bottom of this daily candle right there. So you can see about 97.56, 97.53 area. Still in that bear flag, still in a downtrend. SPY max pain for today, 655 for the options that expire today on SPY at 4:15 p.m. Put to call ratio of about 1.6 puts to each call that expires today. Economic calendar, actually let's go ahead and visit the earnings. On the earnings, nothing here that's going to move the markets, just familiar names nothing that's going to move the markets around. So nothing big enough or capitalized enough. Actually, a lot of these for today can't even find the P&L, or they're not ready to report yet. All right, so nothing really market moving today. On the earnings front, on the economic calendar, we got consumer sentiment, which comes out 10 o'clock, and then a rig count at 1. So really light day today. So we have a possible put squeeze. So we could see a breakout to the upside, forcing the shorts to cover and producing more buying, spurring a blast off up until about 11:30, and then watch for it to move to the right again after 11:30. Okay, so that's it for me. I'll take some questions in the room if we have any. All right, I'll take questions in the room. If not, I'm gonna see you guys in about 40 minutes. Where's major resistance on the U.S. dollar? Major resistance on the dollar is going to be at the top, okay, of the price action. Okay, so if this now becomes minor resistance, okay, right through here, I'm going to grab the, so this is minor resistance because we just broke through major support. So minor resistance, make sure I got the line right. Okay, this is the major resistance. This was the major support that we broke through. Okay, so now this becomes minor resistance right underneath it. Okay, now all of these peaks back here, okay, like right up there, it's going to be a zone right through here. This would be the major resistance zone. It would be the tops of these peaks right here. So you got a peak there. Okay, we got another peak there. Another peak there. See the tops? Okay, so up there, that would be the major resistance. See how price comes down here and kind of test that area? See how price comes down, test this area. So this would be the major resistance zone. It's going to be right through here. Okay? If they break through that, they're going higher. Right? There's no line. It's going to be a zone. Right? Thanks, KJ. Why are the bonds down today? All I can say, Stefan, is they're selling them. You like the explanation of the MMRP? Thanks, Gene. You know I've got lots of slides of the MMRP. I've got a few slides. I don't know if you've seen them. Let me see if I can move this out of the way and share them with you, because I think members would benefit from my slides. See if I can drag it up there. All right, come over here to Files. Go to Images. Come all the way down almost to the bottom. And if it says Gold, okay, valuable lesson like gold right here. It's valuable as gold right here. This is bearish MMRP, and this is a bullish MMRP. Okay, actually, if I was a new member, I would snag all 4 of those. All right, and I would not print them out because it's going to use up all the ink in your printer. Okay, so I would put them in a folder, and I would say BYOB lessons right here. All 4 of those. All right, I want you to have those. All right, so you go up here to Files. To get there, there's all kinds of little one-page lessons in here. Come all the way up here. Again, Files, and click down to Images to get those. All right, and then over here on the notes, all kinds of information to help you as a trader. How to connect with John. coaching. All right, this is when to contact Ed. All right, again, try F5 if you have ongoing audio or video issues before contacting Ed. All right, and these are successful trader habits right there. Great stuff. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. All right, I will see you guys in about 40 minutes. We'll open up the markets again. Again, I'm still bullish. All right. Tried to break out on the upside. We failed. We tried to break out on the downside. We failed. It might be better for us to just wait for the breakout. All right. This is one of those days where, I hate to say it, maybe picking off the bottoms is not the smart thing to do. Let's just wait for the breakout. All right. So think about how you want to trade today. I'm thinking a little bit of pick off the bottom and more wait for the breakout. All right, I'll see you guys in about 40 minutes.